Hello, everyone. With summer just around the corner, I thought we would end our school year with a nice summery drawing. So when I think of summer, I often think of the beach. And when I think of beaches, sometimes I think of islands. So we're going to draw our own island scene with some other special stuff in. So right about in the middle of our page, let's start by drawing ourselves just a big lump. That's going to be our island. I'm going to have it go a little bit down more on that side. And then we're going to draw some ocean. So let's come around here like this, and just some wavy lines around the corner like that. And we can draw some more ocean waves off in the distance. Nothing too fancy, just some slight arcs over there, and then we need to finish our ocean on the other side. There we go. This one needs to come up. All right, now we are also going to draw some stuff to go on the island, because how boring would it be if there was nothing on our little island? Okay, so we're going to start with a brownish color. I need to find a brownish color. There we go. And we're going to draw a tree. Now the tree is kind of close to the water, and I should have started with this, but that's okay. That's what erasers are for. So if you're using pencil, perfect. So we made two arcs that are kind of parallel to each other, and I'm going to erase the sand out of the middle of my tree here. So if you're using pencil, that's probably a good idea too. Get that little part. Okay, and then we're going to draw some triangle shapes on our tree. And that's kind of the bark of a palm tree, because palm trees' bark doesn't look quite the same as other trees. So we've got our bark. And let's draw some leaves on here. We're just going to start right from the middle and draw a big arc coming this way. And then come back around. And it'll get a little bit skinnier as it gets to the trunk of the tree. We'll do one on the other side. An arc. And then come back around like that. And a couple more. Maybe one coming out like this. And maybe one more up here like that. And this is a coconut palm, so I'm going to draw some coconuts up here. Just little sort of ovally shapes. They're not exactly round. They might not be this ovally, but they're not exactly round either. There we go. So we've got ourselves some coconuts waiting to be eaten. And maybe we want a little bit more life on our leaves here. So we can draw some lines down the middle. Make it look a little bit more interesting. There we go. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I think about an island, I often think about treasure. Don't you think about treasure? Let's see. We're going to use that color right there, and we're going to draw ourselves a treasure chest sitting on the beach. Okay, so let's start with one line here. Not too big. It can't take up the whole island. And then we're going to go diagonally up this way. Not too far. Just about like that. And then we're going to make a parallel line to the one we just drew. That means it's going the same direction. So it's kind of diagonal. And then we're going to go straight down. Now, if you're like me and you drew this line a little bit too long, that bottom one, you can extend this one so that you can go straight down right here. There we go. So we have a parallelogram, also a quadrilateral. Okay, now we're going to draw straight this way and straight that way. And we need to make an arc right here. So another arc right there. I'm going to extend this a little bit. I didn't make that one quite long enough and go straight down. And then we're going to make a line starting from right about here, sort of close to the middle of where that arc is. We're going to go straight this way, but not too far because we need to arc it down to the other part. And actually mine's a little bit too long. So if you're using pencil and you want to erase it a little bit, you can do that. I'll make my arc more rounded. There we go. Okay, now every good treasure chest has got to have a lock. So we're just going to draw a little loop right here. And then we're going to draw the top part of the lock, but I'm going to use a different color here. I think I will use, how about a gray color? Maybe a darker gray. There we go. We're going to draw an arc coming out of that on both sides, and then one that's the same shape but below that one. And then we're going to come from these outside lines and draw the bottom of the lock. This is a big lock we have here. And then go straight across like that, and now we need to draw the keyhole for the lock, which is just a little shape like that, and fill it in so it looks like a keyhole. And then we need to make this look more treasure chesty. So we're going to draw in here a square or rectangle. And then we're going to follow this line here down just a little ways because we're going to come straight back across there, and we're going to make this look like it's made of wood. And then we'll do the same thing over here. And the same thing right in here. There we go. So we have a treasure chest that is made out of wood. And we need to have somebody guarding our treasure chest, but it's not who you think. We're going to have a seagull guarding our treasure chest. So I think we'll put him right over here, but I'm going to do his feet first. Let's start with his feet. And seagull feet are usually kind of orangey yellow. Well, that looks pretty good. I'm going to draw his feet right here. Just two little lines. And then we're going to come out and make the little webby part. So it kind of looks like a triangle, but it's got these two little hooks in it. So there's the seagull's feet. And you can color those in later. And then I'm going to use the light gray color just because if I used white, you wouldn't be able to see it anyway. And then I'm going to draw the little part that comes around his legs there. And then I'm going to go up from this leg right here. I'm going to go out like that. And then I'm going to start past where this line ends. I'm going to start with the curve of the top of his head. I'm just going to go down and out. And then we've got to draw his backside. And we will draw a tail feather coming out like that. And then we're going to draw his beak, which I'm going to make the same color as his feet. It comes from way in here. He has a very hooked beak. And I need to grab my gray color again and put it right here. And finish off the bottom of the beak. He looks like he's sticking his neck way out. And I'm going to use a slightly darker gray color as well to give a little bit of color to his tail. Maybe some stripes on his tail, just like that. And he has to have a wing and an eye. Let's give him a nice eye like that. And we're going to make a little highlight on the back side there and color in the rest. Ooh, you can't really see my highlight. So since I'm on a computer, I can do something about that. I can actually use the color white, or maybe light gray. And I can put a little highlight back in where I colored over too much. There we go. He might be a goofy looking seagull, but he's keeping guard of the treasure. So that's the island part, but see, now we get to be fun and creative and draw some creatures in the ocean. So now we can use some fun colors because who wants boring ocean creatures? I'm going to make, let's see if you guys can figure this guy out. Using this pretty coral color, and I'm going to draw just this weird blobby shape right here. I wonder what that could be. There's a blobby shape. Down we go. And I'm going to make about the same curves on that line. And I'm going to make another one. Oh my gosh, if you guessed that it's a jellyfish, you are correct. This is a jellyfish. But we can't just draw a boring old jellyfish. This jellyfish is waving at us. So I'm going to make a little hand tentacle coming up there because he's waving. And he has to have some eyes. So let's give him some eyes. We'll go with purple. That sounds fun. You can go with any color you want though. I'm going to give it some eyes right here. So I'm going to make a circle and another circle. And then this time I'm going to try to make that highlight a little bit better. There we go. His eyes aren't as small as the seagull, so I should be able to do that. So leave a little spot that's a highlight. And color in the rest of it. And it needs a mouth. Let's give it a mouth. So I'm going to use red. Ooh, that's like a bright pinkish red. Okay, here we go. So we're just going to make a little arc, almost right in between his eyes. Or her eyes, if you want to put eyelashes on it and make it a girl. That's fine too. And a mouth. And if you want to make a tongue, I think I will make that a light pink color. Just so you can tell that it's the tongue. So it has a little tongue right there that I'm going to color in. And then it will probably color in the back of it. So you can see the back of its mouth. And then it needs to be having some bubbles come up from it because that will look cute. So I'm going to get some light greeny blue turquoise, and its bubbles are popping up. They get bigger as they get to the surface, and oh look, this one is popping on the surface. There we go. Bubbles! Now we're going to draw some other creatures in our ocean. Okay, now what is an ocean without some fish? Well, I thought we'd draw some fish that we are familiar with, like this little guy. Ooh, what fish do we know that is orange? How about Nemo? I'm going to use that on the inside, but I need an outline color, so I'm going to take some dark gray. I'll use that for my outline color. So the first thing we need to do is just draw an oval like that. So that's going to be little Nemo's body. And then back here we're going to draw his tail, which is kind of a rounded triangle with the pointy part of it hiding behind his body because that doesn't really have to be there. There's the triangle shape at the back. That's his tail fin. And then we have to draw some fins on the top. So those are just little rounded shapes. So we're going to put 1, 2. And then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom, right down here like this. So he has 4 fins. And then he has to have his one little side fin, which is going to be about the same place as these, but on his body. So it's going to look like the tail fin, but smaller. There we go. Now we need to give him his face. So we're going to draw an arc that's going to go down like this. So watch me first. There's that arc. And just a little ways inside of that, we're going to draw another one. There we go. Now here's where Nemo's face is going to be. So let's give him a great big eye and a little smile. There we go. There's Nemo's smile. And then he's going to need, we're going to put a little bit more right on the end of his fin that's right here. We're going to put a little black stripe. So let's extend that back a little bit and then color this in. I suppose I should be using black for this, but I got all excited with using dark gray. I suppose you should use black when you color it in later. We're going to do the same thing on his tail fin, but his tail fin's already kind of big, so I'm not going to extend it. I'm just going to draw inside, copying the back line there, and then color that in. So color in that back stripe there. And then he has some other stripes. Let's make one stripe right back here. That's going to stay white. And then we'll make one more stripe about here. And that will stay white. In between there will be orange. All right, so we have to draw a little bit of a stripe on the top of his fins to just mimic or copy the top line of his fin, just inside of it a little ways. And color that in. And then do the same thing on the bottom fins as well. I'm trying to get that one little spot. There we go. Right here and right here. Oops, that was a little bit big. That's okay. And color those in dark color. And then you can color in the orange. So this part of him is going to be orange. And I should probably use a slightly larger marker here. So here's our Nemo. And if you don't have crayons, you can color him in later. But believe it or not, guys, I really do look forward to seeing your drawings, so please share them with me. I love to see them. So if you're doing this on Seesaw, you can share it with me there. If you're doing this on Google Classroom, you can share it with me there. Just either take a screenshot or somehow or else other take a picture of it to share with me, because I would love to see them. Okay, so I think you get the idea. We're going to color in Nemo. And I think I'm going to switch back to the skinnier pen up here just because these are smaller spots and I'm trying to keep my outline so that I can see it. So we're going to color in that. And over here we got to color in his fin over here. And you notice I just kind of colored over one of my outlines, but that's okay because I can always go back and redo that. So this is going to be fun. Color around his eye and his mouth. But if you accidentally color over it, you can go back over the mouth later and make it darker. And I'm going to let you finish coloring that in later. And we're going to put something else in our ocean. Forgot to tell you guys, we can also color in this little jellyfish over here, but we're going to draw another creature first. So I'm going to use my gray color, and actually I think I'm going to use whoops, that's not what I wanted, a black color, because the first thing we're going to do over here is we're going to draw an eye. So make a little circle, and then we're going to leave a highlight on this one and color in the rest of it, kind of just like we did on our jellyfish guy there. And then I'm going to use gray. What creature under the ocean uses gray? We're going to start a little bit behind the eye. We're going to go in a curve down. And then we're going to go back up here like this. Hey, did you guess what it is yet? I bet when I start drawing now, you're going to figure it out right away. We're going to start drawing some teeth. It is a shark. Mine has some very funny looking teeth, but that's okay. Now we're going to draw his fin right up here at the top, a little arc, and then an arc coming back down. Okay, so now we're going to draw his belly. So we're going to start in just a little bit, like maybe under this first tooth. Now we're just going to draw a curve going back. And then we're going to draw a little triangle down here. That one goes underneath that line we just drew. The other one we're going to draw at the end of this line we just drew. That's his other fin. Okay, now we're going to continue drawing back just a little ways, just a little short line right there. We're going to draw one more little fin like that, just like the letter V. And then on the other side of that, we're going to go back a little bit more. And we're going to stop right there. Now come back up to where his top fin is, his dorsal fin. And we're going to draw a curve going down almost to where it's touching this line right here. And then we're going to draw his tail. So just a little arc there. And come back down. And then we're going to start at this line and go out. And then connect the two. There we go. I'm going to make his smile just a little longer. There we go. He's a happy shark. Now we need to draw his gills because that's how he breathes. So let's draw a couple of gills. Make an arc behind his smile there. And then another one that's a little smaller, and maybe another one. There we go. We have ourselves a shark. Okay, we're going to draw one more thing. And then you can color this in. Now maybe we'll draw two more things. And we don't have a sun up here. Don't we need a sun if we're going to have our beautiful sky and everything? Let's go ahead and draw a sun really fast. So I'm going to change my color just a little bit different. Maybe this color orange. There we go. Got to have the sun. So up here in the corner, we'll just draw a big arc. And then I think I'll get a slightly darker orange. Like, ooh, that's a little too coral. That one. And we'll draw some more arcs, some big arcs and little arcs. There we go. And now we have the sun. And you can color that in later as well. But the one other thing I wanted to draw, I'm going to do it in a nice light blue color. So the first thing we have to do is we're going to draw a circle. And you guys can do these any color you want. I am going to fill this in first because we're going to use black on top of it. So I'm going to go ahead and fill him in. Fill in that circle. And then you're going to use a dark color on top of it. So if you're just doing this in pencil to start with, you can color it in later. And then if you need to go over it with a darker black crayon or pencil or something, you can do that. So let's see how long it takes you to figure out what on earth did Mrs. Carell have us draw. Okay, so let's go ahead and outline that circle just to make it easier to see. And if your outline is not perfect, like mine very much is not perfect, that's okay. We are going to draw a little fin out here. Put some lines on it. And let's do another fin up here. Kind of looks like part of a circle with two little lines in it. And then one more right over here. Okay, what kind of weird fish looks like that? Well, let's draw it some eyes. There's one eye. There's the other eye. Actually, I think I'm going to make it bigger just because it makes it more fun. Bigger eyes. There we go. And right in between, a little smile. There we go. And now we are going to draw some little pointy things, just little triangles, all around its body. Do you know what kind of fish this is yet? This is a puffer fish. And then we'll draw some little parts of triangles inside its body and some up here on the top. That is a puffer fish. There we go. And you guys can later maybe go ahead and color in its little fins up here. And like I said, you guys can make these any color you want. That is totally fine. And if you want to draw some other things in here, I would love to see what you guys can draw. Because I bet you guys can draw some things that I have not even thought of yet. So if you want to put some other creatures in here and color in some of these other ones, that would be amazing. And I want to see what else you guys can add on to this picture to make it uniquely your art. All right, have a great summer.